Entering the depths of a prison is like stepping into a nightmare world where horror and dread lurk around every corner. The sickening stench of decay and despair permeates the air, and the cold, damp walls seem to be closing in on you, suffocating you with every passing moment. The cells are dark and cramped, with nothing but a filthy cot and a rusted toilet to call your own. The walls are covered in graffiti and the floors are slick with grime and bodily fluids. The sounds of anguished cries and savage beatings echo through the halls, a constant reminder of the brutality that reigns supreme in this hellish place. The inmates themselves are the stuff of nightmares, with hardened stares and cruel, twisted grins. They move with a predatory grace. Their faces are etched with scars and tattoos that speak of their violent pasts, and their eyes gleam with an unmistakable malice. The only way to survive there is to become as savage as the beasts that surround you, to shed your humanity and embrace the darkness that lies within. For those unlucky enough to find themselves trapped in this hellish existence, there is no escape from the unending terror that awaits them. The prison becomes their world, and they are trapped in its clutches forever. The horrors that many detainees face are beyond comprehension. They are subjected to degrading and inhumane treatment, stripped of their dignity and exposed to terrible conditions that erode their physical and mental well-being. The abusive interactions they endure are nothing short of traumatizing, leaving scars that linger long after their release from prison. But the terror doesn't stop there. Even after serving their time, these individuals are still haunted by the demons of their past. The 1990s saw a rapid increase in the number of incarcerated individuals across the US and the world, and as a result, the conditions in prisons and jails began to worsen. To exacerbate the situation, lawmakers made it increasingly difficult for prisoners to bring and win civil rights lawsuits, while also stripping away much of the judicial oversight of prisons and jails. This gave rise to a system where prisoners were subject to all manner of abuse and mistreatment, including physical assault, sexual assault, and even murder at the hands of corrupt officials who operated with impunity. Sadly, the crisis in America's prisons and jails is ongoing, with dishonest personnel continuing to misuse their positions of authority without any repercussions. As a result, prisoners are routinely subjected to brutal violence, with little hope of receiving the care and support they need to heal from their injuries. Those with disabilities or mental illnesses are often left to suffer without the treatment they require, while those at risk of suicide are kept in solitary confinement. And listen up, folks. Here's a staggering fact for you. There are over 60,000 individuals in the United States who are locked away in solitary confinement. Yup, you heard it right. They're stuck in tiny cramped cells for a whopping 23 hours a day. And get this, their only relief is a quick shower, limited exercise time, or a trip to the doctor's office. Oh, and don't even think about visiting them or giving them a call, because that's a big no-no. It's like they're living in their own personal space within a prison. Can you even imagine how miserable that must be? Now, let us show you something different from the events. When it comes to prison, Japan has a unique approach that sets it apart from the rest of the world. The schedules in Japanese jails are highly structured, providing a sense of stability and routine for the inmates. While speaking is limited to certain times and the use of Japanese language is required, prisoners are given opportunities to exercise and enjoy free time. Most prisoners live in community cells that are thoughtfully designed with traditional Japanese decor and comfortable futons to sleep on. Foreign inmates may have different accommodations but are still provided for. Although strict adherence to the routine is required, this system helps maintain order and safety. In the next section, we'll explore how these rules are enforced and the benefits of this approach to rehabilitation. The day starts early at 6:45 a.m. with a delicious breakfast that sets the tone for the productive day ahead. The prisoners then engage in various tasks such as woodworking, printing, cooking and cleaning, while also undergoing vocational training to gain qualifications that will come in handy post-release. The workday spans from 8 a.m. to 4:40 p.m. with short breaks in between. After dinner at 5 p.m., inmates are rewarded with 2 hours of free time, during which they can relax and unwind by watching TV, reading books, or chatting with their fellow inmates. It's also worth mentioning that prisoners are paid for their work, which can be collected upon release. With lights out at 9 p.m. sharp, prisoners can look forward to a well-deserved rest before waking up to another fulfilling day. In the land of the rising sun, rules are written in Japanese and foreign inmates may find themselves lost in translation. Behind bars in Japan, language barriers can turn into hurdles for those not fluent in the native tongue. Fuju Prison, the go-to facility for foreign offenders, has gained a reputation for being notoriously strict. But it's not just foreigners who call this place home, it's also the dwelling of various members of the Yakuza, adding to the prison's tough-as-nails reputation. Welcome to the concrete jungle, where words matter and miscommunication could mean the difference between freedom and confinement. Within the confines of the prison walls, the cells are sectioned off into distinct categories for their inhabitants: those deemed normal by society standards, foreign nationals, individuals suffering from mental illness, and those with physical disabilities. For foreign male prisoners in Japan, Fuju Prison stands as their new home away from home. Despite the varied crimes that may have led them here, these individuals all share one common thread. They reside in solitary cells tucked away in 2 or 3 separate blocks. While Japanese prisons are notorious for their rigid adherence to strict rules and regulations, it is Fuju Prison that has garnered a particular amount of criticism from numerous human rights organizations. It should also be emphasized that, especially when it comes to foreign detainees, Japanese jails frequently make an effort to appear better than they are in reality in order to meet international standards. As a result, information coming from them directly should be regarded with caution. The statistics are staggering and the implications are sobering. As it turns out, behind the cold walls of Japanese jails lies a growing population of elderly women who have committed minor offenses. It's a curious trend that begs closer inspection, and the numbers tell a haunting tale. According to a recent survey, at least 1 in 5 women in Japanese prisons are over the age of 60, and almost all of them have been convicted of minor infractions such as theft. But this issue is not simply a matter of law and order, rather it speaks to a broader and more insidious problem facing Japan today: a rapidly aging population and a growing number of elderly individuals living alone. Indeed, the number of older individuals living alone in Japan has more than doubled over the past few decades, with estimates suggesting that there are now approximately 6 million older people living in isolation. This isolation and loneliness can lead to desperate measures and can drive individuals to commit minor crimes simply to survive. The situation is both tragic and alarming. These women, who have lived long lives and contributed to society, are now behind bars for minor infractions. Unfortunately for many seniors in Tokyo, this has become increasingly challenging in recent years. A poll conducted by the Tokyo government in 2017 revealed a sobering truth. More than half of elderly shoplifters were single, and a staggering 40% had no family or close friends to turn to. It's no wonder then that some of them are turning to a life of crime as a desperate measure. Women in particular are taking this drastic step, hoping that prison will offer them a sense of belonging in a place to call home. While it may sound counterintuitive, for many of these women, prison is actually a chance at a better life. Behind bars, they have access to healthcare, housing, and 3 meals a day, basic necessities that they may not have had on the outside. They are also given the chance to learn new skills and take part in rehabilitation programs that could help them turn their lives around. Plus, with a sense of community and belonging that's often hard to find in the outside world, these women have a chance to form meaningful connections with others. And that's all for now. This is us signing off. Hope you've enjoyed the video. You can drop a like to appreciate our efforts. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure to press the bell icon. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace.